All right, we're live, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to We Are the Batman 100th episode live stream. I'm Mike.
And this is Matthew.
We're doing this.
We are.
Why are we doing this? Why did I come up with this idea? Why did I decide to do this? Why did I think this was a good idea?
I mean, I just wanted to do a Q&A, but you were like, let's go live.
Let's just go live. Let's just go live. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
What's the worst that's going to happen?
The worst thing that's going to happen is that nobody tunes in, nobody sends us any questions, and that's fine. That's fine. We're still going to do it. It just means we get done sooner.
There you go.
So everybody, welcome to our 100th episode. We have done 100 episodes of this show, just shy of 2 years worth of shows. Man, oh man. Well, that's not entirely true because we did miss quite a few weeks.
Yeah. Date-wise, it's probably been 2 years, but we don't have 2 years of episodes.
No, we do not. 100 episodes. We've been doing this show, just two nerdy, dorky friends that just like the sound of their own voices and like forcing their opinions on the public. So that's what we're here to do. And we're doing it live today. So like you're extra roped in for it if you're watching us live.
Maybe I should have changed my name.
Big Brother Hasso, you can still do it, I think, if you want. It's fine.
I didn't even notice that till just now. I was like, oh yeah, when it's live, you can see the names.
Yeah, is that from last week?
It's just whatever random thing I put in there, but
whatever random bullshit you put in there.
Because usually no one sees this.
Yeah, it's usually it's weird. You're usually themed for no reason whatsoever. Because we record this show on StreamYard, so you can put in your own name. For those at home who don't know, you can put in your own name when you log in, and mine is usually just my name, just my name. And Matt usually has some kind of joke or pun or something, or comic book reference or something referencing what we're about to talk about. And I don't know why he does it, because it's for no one's benefit but his own.
It's for you, baby. It's all for you.
Okay. We're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff today. We're gonna obviously we're doing this live, so if you're watching this live, welcome. Please, as always, send in any questions or comments or whatever into the chat, and we will answer them in a timely manner. But we are also we are also going to just shoot the shit for a little bit, like you guys don't normally get to see us do. We'll go into some news, take a little bit of a visit to the Gunn Show, and then we're going to get into our two main topics today, which is revisiting the live action Batman films in terms of ranking them, and discussing live action Batman actors and giving them a ranking as well. First and foremost, Matt Hasso, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I've had a day, just busy day, but I'm here, I'm ready, and I am excited because 100 episodes. I don't know if I've been on a podcast I've been a part of that lasted 100 episodes, honestly. Like, I think collectively, I think Fanboy Junction was 100, but it was 3 different seasons. So none of the seasons ever reached 100. So this is the first time I have done like a consecutive podcast for this long.
I mean, the Basement Lounge went for 100 episodes, but it also went through 3 different show formats.
Yeah.
So it's Mike Wells and I did 100 episodes together. But again, that was a different format of an old show, and now that show has turned into something else. So yeah, like this is the first time I've had a singular podcast that has just done the same thing consistently for 100 episodes. So there is something to be said about that. And there's something to be said about just how much we love a fictional billionaire crime fighter in the world he lives in, man.
Now, I realized that I have committed a bit of a faux pas, and I did not verify with you that somebody is following the stream. So I am going onto my laptop to see if I have any semblance of being able to see what's going on here, because right before we went on, my little, docking station went belly up. Oh. And I lost everything but my laptop.
Oh.
On my other laptop, trying to see if I can see anything that's going on. So
I mean, I know we're still streaming.
Yeah, we are. No, you're everything on your end is fine.
Okay.
I just don't have the multiple monitors right now, so I'm having to use my other laptop to.
Oh, I gotcha.
To see if anybody's in there, and either my laptop sucks or there is nobody here.
Oh, someone's here. I see him in there.
Oh,
Don't worry about it. I'm not
What's
worried
up,
about.
guys?
Hey guys, how's it going? We're not worried about it right now. But anyway, but yeah, let's talk, and because honestly, you and I have had such a busy week this week to begin with.
Yeah.
That if we weren't doing this live this week, I don't know if we would have had. Well, we would have had to throw out a canned episode.
Yeah,
For our 100th. Because I have been so, yeah, we would have finally used our canned Nightwing episode that we were so into it. It's a really good episode, but it's just like we just keep having other stuff where it's like, let's just keep that one saved for now. So you guys will hear the Nightwing episode at some point, and it's going to be outdated as hell.
Yes.
But you will hear it. Yeah, it's a good thing we're doing this, because yeah, I spent all day Wednesday in Cincinnati at our Cincinnati office for work.
And you got to visit the Hall of Justice while you were
The
there.
Hall of Justice. I got to see if I can pull that picture up here.
I was just saying, why don't we have that picture on deck?
I know. I should have. I'm sorry. I haven't done a live stream in a very long time.
Do I need a vamp? No.
Vamp for a little bit. So while I pull this picture up.
So this Batman shirt is the only Batman shirt apparently I have that fits, but it's old, and that's why so it's like a vinyl symbol on it. And I thought it would look cool, but now it just looks kind of ganky because the light hits it weird.
It is kind of weird that you and I don't own more Batman shirts. In my defense, as a fat man, they are surprisingly hard to find. You would think, being a part of the target audience,
the sweaties,
you would think being a part of the sweaty community, they would want me to have access to their merchandise, but apparently not. Apparently I'm wrong in that instance. So,
well, I have like
what it is.
3 or 4 Nightwing shirts. I almost wore a Nightwing shirt since I have a Nightwing shirt on in our logo.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, let me do the Batman one. And then I think I have like 2 Iron Fist shirts.
Okay.
Dozens of Captain America shirts.
A lot of band tees and a lot of like joke graphic tees from like TeePublic and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then I was like,
I really shouldn't wear at work.
It's like it's our 100th episode. I got to wear something Batman. I think
I've got my new Batman Beyond shirt on, which I've been.
So cool.
I love this shirt. I was just Googling Batman Beyond shirts. I was like, there's got to be something out there. And TeePublic had Jack. I found this on Amazon, and it's literally the logo with like the belt on it. And it was like $25, and it was in my size. And I was like, I am half tempted to order 5 of these just to have them on deck.
Unintentional plug, but if they like it, please support our podcast. It's called superherohype.com.
Yeah.
And if you want to go somewhere that's going to have everything for the character you like they go about 2 or 3 tiers deep, but they have like, here's the Batman store, here's the Superman store, here's the Iron Fist store, the Daredevil.
If they ever want to sponsor our show, we are welcome to it. I got this picture pulled up now. So for those who are watching this live or maybe watching it on the replay, for those who don't know, I live down in Dayton, Ohio, and my day job has me occasionally going back and forth between Dayton and Cincinnati. They're like an hour apart. We have an office in each town. And Wednesday, I was out driving around shooting some footage around Cincinnati for some videos we're producing for work. And the Cincinnati Union Terminal, which we have talked about on the show several times, was the inspiration for the design of the Hall of Justice and the Super Friends. And like, if you want for the proof, I mean, I took this from a Bob Evans parking lot over, like, I'm still like a couple miles away. This place is huge. It's absolutely massive. But yeah, it's right there. You can see it from the highway. It's part of the museum program, so like you can get tours and whatever. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. And you know, if you're looking at it and thinking like, yeah, that does look like it, it's also where they shot for Batman Forever, the where the circus takes place, where the Graysons are killed. That's here. That's this building.
Oh gosh.
They also shot for the CW when they did the Invasion crossover event. This was the Star Labs building that acted as a pseudo Hall of Justice for their little CW Justice League. So like, this building has been used numerous times to fulfill that role, and we still see this design show up as the Hall of Justice. We see it in the Batman the animated series. We see it happen we just saw it in Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
Yeah.
In the new animated one, they kept the same design. So yeah, it was just cool to be out driving around for work and just being like, oh yeah, by the way, here's the Hall of Justice in Cincinnati, everybody. For those who thought I was making it up, it's right there.
And
so,
I can't even imagine how many cosplayers go and take pictures in front of that building.
It must be insane. It must be insane. I've already started pitching video ideas to work that we can do at the Union Terminal, theming it around, like, you know, connecting it to the Super Friends and all that. And my boss is like, okay, you can only wiggle in so much nerdy shit into these videos before it's just self-serving Mike. And I'm like, I don't care. The people need to know that this cartoon from the 70s.
Big Brother Hasso from Houston said, I have to do this.
Exactly. So we've been so busy, and then I had a gig 2 hours out of town last night. I didn't get back home till midnight, and had been working. So yeah, it's a good thing we decided to do. It's a good thing I came up with this, as I pat myself on the back there.
Good job.
Yeah, it would have been a crappy 100th episode. All right, man. Anything else going on with you want to talk about before we start getting into some stuff?
Not really. Saw Kung Fu Panda 4 last night. It was fine.
I still haven't seen 3.
3 was fine.
I've only seen the first 2. I like the first 2 just fine.
Yeah.
They're good movies.
Yeah. It was cool. You know, sometimes even if it's a bad movie, it's a fun time when you take the family out to a movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just being able to chill, popcorn it up. You know, all the theaters here have the big seats.
You get your Dune 2 popcorn bucket and
No, I actually got, because I was afraid things. But no, we got the Ghostbusters.
Matt's old and has to pee, guys. That's what we're trying to say.
No, we got the Ghostbusters 1, which was actually better than I thought. The popcorn thing is a tin. It's not just a plastic thing. It's a tin.
They didn't have those when I went and saw Dune.
Yeah.
I was mad.
My son wanted the cup with the RC trap on it. So we got that. And had I known how much it was going to be, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because you had to buy both of them.
Oh no, you couldn't just get one?
You had to buy, they were a set. So it was $30 right there.
I still have my metal popcorn bucket from when I saw the Batman, because remember I got to go to that early fan screening.
Yeah, I think I have one of those too.
Yeah, it's packed up in a box right now, but I still have it. It's still great. I love it.
Like I was showing you before we went, I have my cup. I found it. I've been using it.
I had to throw out my I had a cup from the Batman as well, but I had to throw it out because those things, they say they're dishwasher safe. They are. That stuff peels right off, and then it loses all its value. So
I just thought the top was cool. It looks like your shirt.
Yeah. The top is dope. I like that lid. But anyway, let's get into some news. Speaking of the Batman, let's go ahead and get into some news since we're talking about it. Nice segue, guys. Good at content.
Totally intentional.
So the Batman Part 2 has been officially delayed until fall of 2026.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super shocked.
No.
It's like they haven't even, as far as we know, the script isn't even done yet. So okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about this. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's like, look, if we treat the first movie as a proof of concept, that movie was delayed twice. So if there's anything about proof of concept with Matt Reeves, it's that, man, I am willing to wait for quality.
Look, I'm gonna shit on one of your favorites, but also just shit on a bad movie. When you rush into the next film, you get Batman and Robin or BVS. Like, take your time, make the movie right, and
watch your mouth, asso.
Make the movie right. If it takes you, as much as I was watching it the other day and going like, man, I can't wait for the next one. At the same time, keep them good. Don't rush it. Don't give me Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. Don't give me Batman and Robin. Give me a movie you took the time to make sure the story was right. You cast it right. You made it right. And I would rather wait for that than you force it early.
Yeah. This is a situation of, when they talk about I always equate everything to food, and that's so torturous for me these days. But they talk about like with like when you cook a steak, you should let it rest before cutting into it, or like with cookie dough, you should let it rest in the fridge and let all the flavor, like everything, like meld together before it'll taste better. Like the idea of letting things rest, and like dry aging and brining. It's kind of the same thing with movies. It's like, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to let you guys put in the time and the effort if you need it to give me the best thing you can give me.
Yeah.
Because look, we just watched and talked about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And that is a movie that was so like, you talk about a rush job with editing. They were like, this thing needs to just be done and edited and releasable. We just need to edit around Amber Heard and make this thing releasable.
Yeah.
Or when you look at what happened with, like, I swear Sony just announced Madam Web. I cannot believe that movie has already come and gone in theaters. Or the fact that, like, I haven't seen it yet, but I know the trailer for The Crow just got released, and I haven't watched it yet. I don't have as much of an emotional connection to The Crow as most people do.
Fair.
I think it's because I saw it so late in life for the first time. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is dope, but like, chill, everybody. Like, it's good. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but like, Jesus, people. It was a little over. I think it was just overhyped for me. But anyway, so it's not a movie that I'm like, oh fuck yeah, remake of The Crow, or it's like a cool, yeah, I'll watch the trailer when I feel like it. I don't know. There's other, look, you can't drop a trailer for The Crow the same time that you drop the first episode of part 2 of season 2 of Invincible, because if I got to choose between one or the other, I'm going to watch Invincible, and I'm going to watch all the YouTube reactions to Invincible. I'll get to The Crow when I feel like it.
Or not. You'd have to get to The Crow.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel like The Crow remake was like just announced. I feel like Bill Skarsgård just got announced as playing this guy, and there's already a trailer that has me going like, okay, it's like if you order food at a restaurant and it comes out way too fast. It's like, I'm questioning how fresh this food is.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. With Matt Reeves, we've seen what he can do with the Apes movies. We've seen what he can do with the first Batman, and hopefully soon we'll get to see what he's been doing with the Penguin. Still nothing on that in March, and that's a little concerning, actually. That maybe there's something holding it up, but the Batman 2026. That's not that. It's fine. Yeah, I know it's longer than we want. We want it now, but
yeah,
I'm willing to wait.
Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of Batman in the movies, there was a little bit of reunions of sorts that took place at the Oscars the other day. Did you see this with
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
DeVito and Keaton.
Yes.
Does it mean anything? No. Was it wonderful in every way, shape, and form? Yes.
Yeah.
just the way Schwarzenegger was like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah. And he's just standing, like the Keaton just leaning into it, doing the like.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
Michael Keaton is a guy who just like I don't think anybody's loved playing Batman more than Michael Keaton has. Like, and I'm saying that knowing that Ben Affleck exists, but just, man, Michael Keaton loves that he got, and I think maybe it's because he started off as a comedian, but I think it's just because he loves that he got to be Batman twice, three times.
Yeah, he relishes in when you hearken back to it. He has no it's not like some of those guys who are ashamed of the comic book films they've done or whatever. He loves the fact that he was Batman.
Well, because let's be honest, Batman Returns is not bad. It's fine. It's fine. It's not, in a world where Batman and Robin exists, it's fine. Okay. And for all of its faults, then none of them are him. And the Flash is the same way. He's incredible in the Flash. Any faults the Flash has are not Michael Keaton. If anything, they were a testament to how much faith I have in the director to direct the Batman Brave and the Bold movie that we've got coming. Because while the Flash stuff was questionable, his handling of Batman in that movie was fantastic.
Is he still attached? I thought there was a rumor
going. He is
going.
Still attached as of right now.
Okay.
He was gone for a bit, and then he's back on it. Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that, said that Patty Jenkins is back on Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So, this seems to be the year of people going back to things they left. But
why not?
Why not? So, but yeah, Keaton was always good. Like the problem was never Keaton.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll give
and
that.
yeah, well, and then even with DeVito and Schwarzenegger, I mean, Schwarzenegger was just one tiny piece of a very bad soup. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you know, and with DeVito, that was just a script problem. You know, he understood the assignment. That just it was a crappy assignment. And honestly, I mean, you could say the same thing about Schwarzenegger. It's like, look, he did what Joel Schumacher, you know, rest in peace. He did what Schumacher told him to do.
yes,
At the end of the day, Schumacher's the one that made those choices, and Schwarzenegger just followed his direction. He was an actor, so I'm not gonna hold that against them. But the moment itself at the Oscars was funny. I mean, it was like, yeah, we're both here. Because at first you think they're gonna go up and talk about doing twins, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Or that did you ever see Junior?
I never watched it. I know what it
Don't
is.
don't. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
that's what I've
so
heard.
not funny. Like it's just boring and unfunny. It's a hilarious concept,
Yeah,
but it's not funny. But yeah, but then the fact that it goes into just like, yeah, we both hate Batman.
yeah.
What a great segment that was. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was funny. Um, I know, we're getting to the part of the season where we're going to need to probably look at getting some long-term gold passes, Matthew. But for the moment, I do need to ask if you have your tickets handy.
I'm trying to get them.
Because we're going to need your tickets to go to the Gunn Show. That's right. We're talking about the Gunn Show. This is everything going on to do in the world of James Gunn and DC Warner Brothers. Right now, shooting for Superman, the official title Superman, is well underway
Yes,
with a
it is.
capital
Yes, it is.
H. He has been sharing nonstop aerial pictures and videos from his cell phone.
Yeah, he has.
From is it Norway they're at right now?
It's something like that. Like they're definitely location scouting
Yeah. Well, no, they're on location
or on location. I
shooting.
guess what
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah,
because that initial image that got released, we talked about it last week with our Aquaman episode, but it was the logo was covered in snow.
yeah.
So I think we're getting something to do with the Fortress of Solitude with this. I don't know a whole lot of other reasons why you would take the trouble to location scout for that kind of climate if you're not going to do the Fortress of Solitude.
I mean,
Otherwise, you could just do it on a volume.
yeah. He said that he did. What's it called? He took inspiration from the first Donner movie, from some of the comics that we've talked about in the past.
Mhm.
So yeah, 100%. The Fortress of Solitude is in the north. It's in
Well, and it makes me happy because I know, and I know we've heard about this from Leonardo DiCaprio when he won for The Revenant. Like it's getting harder and harder to shoot location for winter weather, snow weather, because climate change is a thing. There's just less and less snow, but that leads me to the whole, like, you wouldn't make the effort if it wasn't important. And it's important to me too, because something I've really been paying attention to in the last few things I've watched lately is how important a location is with conveying like the atmosphere of a setting.
Yeah.
What I mean is, like, when I went and saw Dune 2, I felt the heat of that desert because they were shooting in a desert.
Yeah.
Okay. When I tried to watch the first episode of the Avatar, The Last Airbender live action show on Netflix, not a fan, by the way, when they're shooting the water tribe in this Arctic land, I could 1,000% tell they were on a soundstage. It felt so fake and not cold. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it was so obvious they were avoiding shooting with too much sky showing because they were on a soundstage. Like, it was very clear they were shooting indoor for outdoor, fake winter, what have you. And it was like, and it took me right out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
It took me right out of it. So that gives me hope for just like what they're going to be able to convey with shooting on location, to where we'll really be able to, as a moviegoer, like feel like it's like, oh yeah, no, it is cold there right now.
Well, look at the first Superman movie. Like
Yeah.
there are scenes in that movie, when they're in Kansas and they're in Smallville, it's like you don't get that on a stage. You don't get that with the volume,
Yeah.
The volume has some cool stuff, permanent,
Yeah.
golden hour, fantastic. But you don't get that depth, that like, look at this entire place and the sky behind them. So
Yeah, you don't get to do that crazy forced perspective with that church too. You know what I mean? EQ3Q says you're too powerful.
nice. I like it.
You're too powerful.
I think that's probably my buddy John.
Okay.
And every time I would do this thing where he was a martial artist, and I always use them, people are messing around, they'll hit me, like
Okay.
would nudge me, and oh, it's too
Yeah.
powerful, too
It's an inside
powerful.
joke. There it is. Okay.
So
Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah, man. So we also got confirmation, speaking of James Gunn and things he's working on. Peacemaker
Mhm.
season 2 starts shooting this summer.
Yes.
Now, this led to question. Jennifer Holland confirmed this with somebody in comments on her Instagram, and then James Gunn followed it up with a follow-up confirmation. He also clarified the timeline of everything, because they're like, well, how can this start shooting if you're still shooting Superman? To which he said, I'm not directing every episode of Peacemaker season 2. Duh.
Yeah.
He didn't direct every episode of season 1 either.
No.
He wrote every episode. See, that's all that he needed. After that, it's up to everybody else at that point. Same thing with Superman. He doesn't need to be there for every single episode of Peacemaker. So they're going to start shooting the ones they don't need him for right here in the summer of this year. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, because usually if the creator is directing the pilot, he's directing that pilot to set the tone of the show.
Yeah.
He's already done that.
Because I think he did the first 2 and the last 2 of the first season. I could be wrong, but I think he did those 4.
I'm not sure which ones he directed me on. I can
Okay.
find out if you let me look at my phone for a second.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, you do that. Because I literally, like, just within the last week, did a rewatch of Peacemaker. I had a day last week. I was not feeling well, so I took a sick day from work, and I laid up, and one of my favorite reactors that I follow, that I support on Patreon, had actually put up all their reactions to it on Patreon, just because DC stuff doesn't do well with reactions on YouTube.
Yeah.
So they put it up as a Patreon exclusive. So I just watched through the whole season in a day with their reactions, and I was just like, man, it had been a while since I'd seen it. Man, I really forgot just how freaking funny and good and violent Peacemaker is. And
Oh
I want to go back to that world.
no, he
soon.
directed all 6 according to his IMDb
No,
page.
there's no way that's true.
It's what? Oh no, I'm sorry. There were 9 episodes. He directed 6 of them.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, you're good. Okay, so he directed 6. Okay.
6 of the 9.
Well, still, yeah, he doesn't need to be there for all of them, and he's got other things to do. So this is a great opportunity for him to bring in other directors and other talent to get some experience under their belt while he goes and handles Superman and the running of a studio. What's important is that he's the one that wrote it.
Yeah.
And is the one whose name goes on it at the end of the day. So of course he's gonna, give it the attention it deserves. He's not gonna let it go by the wayside.
Think they'll update that intro, or they'll keep it?
Well, well, before we get to that, let's answer. He says he never saw Peacemaker, not a Cena fan. What would you say to that, Matthew?
I'm traditionally not as well. Like, there's been, of the 4 or 5 things I've seen him in, I've liked him in 2. Peacemaker was one of them, and then there's this ridiculous, like, forest fireman movie he was in that's just, it's dumb, but you can tell he's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in those 2 things. The other things I've seen him in, I'm kind of I'm kind of with you, John. Like, I'm like, whatever. But no, he does not do the standard Cena thing as Peacemaker in that show. And honestly, like, there's a couple moments where I'm like, wow, dude, I would have never guessed this guy was a wrestler aside from the massive build, that would be able to pull this kind of performance. I'll put this out there right now. He outdoes The Rock easily. As far as acting talent, he blows The Rock away, especially in that show.
I don't know if it was you I was talking to about this. I know I heard the guys in preview talking about this, and I kind of feel the same way, which is, to me, I feel like John Cena has in a lot of ways surpassed The Rock for me, because when you watch through Peacemaker, you realize this is a kind of role that The Rock would never play. Because there's a certain level of
Black Adam shows that.
Yeah. Yep. But there's a level of tearing down a character they do in Peacemaker that I don't believe Dwayne Johnson has the humility to achieve. Whereas I feel like John Cena is willing to let himself be stripped down that way. If for nothing else, then he was willing to learn a rudimentary playthrough of Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue for that one scene.
Yeah.
Like he's playing it a shitload better than I ever could, but it's clearly like he's a beginner.
I don't know. There's some other footage, like behind the scenes of him legit playing some other stuff on the piano. So it may be that it's a skill of his.
Maybe it is. Maybe he just played it a little different, just because he was, playing Peacemaker. But yeah. I will say, if you're not huge on Cena, something else I would consider watching him in is a movie called Blockers that came out a few years ago. It's a comedy. It's in a similar vein to something like Superbad, but it's more focused on
the parents
of these kids who are of these three high school girls who are kind of going out and having a similar experience to what the kids in Superbad did, except this time the parents are trying to like make sure they're okay and all that. It's actually a really, really heartwarming, great movie, but it's also really, really funny. And a lot of that is John Cena. Again, John Cena lets himself be the butt of the joke in ways in that movie and in Peacemaker that I just don't see anyone else. I mean, Batista gets close with his Drax stuff, but it's the kind of stuff The Rock would never quote unquote lower himself to. I feel like, and I'm saying that as somebody that loves The Rock, and I love him in the Jumanji movies especially. Like, but even then, it's just it's just not the kind of thing you would see The Rock do.
Yeah. Agreed.
But anyway, all right. So that's, and then he also did confirm that Waller is still in pre-production.
Okay.
Cool. Whatever. It's not that I don't care. It's just this, like, there's so low on my list of priorities with everything with DC right now. I'm still waiting on a Penguin trailer and a Creature Commandos trailer. It's mid-March. It's literally the Ides of March today.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to hold off on all of that to hype it up for Comic-Con. But that just seems late in the year to do that. I would think one of those things is going to come out before Comic-Con.
Well, they did say Penguin was coming out in late 2024, which to me usually means fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So to me, Penguin's probably coming. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Penguin was a Halloween Thanksgiving show.
Well, and it's like we've talked about before, is like part of all of this is just distancing yourself from the DCEU. The moment you put something out this early and this close to Aquaman, the layman person thinks it's the same thing.
Yeah, because Aquaman stunk hard. I had a buddy of mine actually texting me yesterday while I was in the green room at the show, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm finally watching Aquaman 2." And I was like, "You poor bastard." And he's like, "This movie sucks, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, no, it sucks." He's like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I thought maybe you were." He's like, "I was coming to you to see maybe you could help me find something to like in it. You usually like most things." I was like, "Yeah, I know. That's how bad it is. It's not a good movie. Yeah. It's a pretty bad movie.
It's crap and crap.
It is pretty stinking spectacularly awful." All right. That is all the big news I've got. Anything I'm missing? Anything that you have that I may have overlooked or forgotten about?
No. We've talked about some of the other things. I don't think we need to cover it.
Okay.
So we're good. I think
Cool
let's roll
beans.
into what we are here to do.
What we're here to do. So listen, man, like, we just finished doing our focus camera. Come
I
on.
know. It's like, I know I'm getting old, but I feel like
No, it's a new camera, it's a new webcam. We just got these for the studio, and I haven't quite gotten them to work quite how I want them to. I may have to just be blurry for a little
there
bit.
you
There
are.
we
You're
go.
there. You're
Okay.
there.
I need to find the settings for this camera
We
so that
are professionals.
we're so good at this. We're so good at this. Why don't you guys do more video episodes? Ta-da!
Yeah. By the way, yeah.
Don't get used to this.
Yeah. Peacemaker, Reacher in the same movie, Fast X. Yeah, Reacher was a good show. We're fans of the Reacher here.
I have not seen Reacher.
Wait, I thought
I have not watched Reacher.
you
I know.
son of them.
Dude. Do you know how many shows there are to watch on the internet?
That's fair. That's fair.
We had to do a live episode this week just because we did not have the time to record anything.
True. And
So
yes,
anyway.
thanks, John. I'm fully aware that I look like sound and look like Ray Romano and Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, it's true. With a little bit of what's the bit from Family Guy where like it's Kermit the Frog, Ray Romano,
Hulk. That's his name.
No, the guy from Ghostbusters who played Egon, son of a bit, Harold Ramis. And one other person, and they're all just going, and they all talk, and it's
the
so
exact
funny.
same range.
He said Reacher and Shogun are I did watch the first episode of Shogun yesterday.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's so good. I was pitching Dune to somebody as Game of Thrones in space. Okay. Shogun is Game of Thrones in like feudal Japan.
Okay.
It is
all the sex included?
Not nearly like that. There is a scene that lasts a grand total of maybe 30 seconds, and it's minimal at best. Okay. Like it's like there's like a nipple for like a second.
Oh, I'm not watching it. I need
but like dudes get their heads chopped off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good. It is I will say a lot of subtitles because a lot of it's in Japanese.
Anime, bro. That's
I know.
Okay.
You'll be fine. That's the only thing I would say is just like this is not it's kind of like when I was watching Echo, where it's like, this is a show I need to be focused on at all times because I have a lot of subtitle reading to do. This is not the kind of show where I can usually just be like chill and relax and absorbing the screen. It's like, no, I have to do homework. But really good. All right, so we've been doing a monthly segment called the Batman Breakdown, where we've been breaking down the live action Batman movies in chronological release order. We started with the Adam West Batman movie from '66, and we just recently did Justice League and did our look back at the Batman, since that was how we literally started the show, was with a review of the Batman.
Yes.
So now, and we some time ago did do a ranking of our top 3 live action Batman films, and I was curious that now that we've taken the better part of 2 years breaking down these movies, how do you feel about, like, now that we've delved deeper into these movies, how do you feel about your rankings of the live action Batman films, Matt?
Well, it was kind of funny because, if memory serves, we said only one per franchise. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting because, putting other ones in there changes the top 3 depending on how you want to do it. And I think sometimes we set up those top 3 so we can actually talk about not the same things all the time. But no, it was so. I don't think my list has changed, because my list. Do you remember your list? Because I watched it today.
I don't, but I could probably guess off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's Batman 80. Yours is Batman 89, Dark Knight, and the Batman.
Yeah,
and then mine was
not in that order, but
no, that was your order. You had the Batman as your number 1. You had Dark Knight
Oh,
as your
I thought
number
you were saying
2.
I had 89 as my number 1. I was
No,
like,
no,
are
no.
you sure?
No, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And my
Okay.
3, 2, 1 was Batman Forever, The Batman, and Batman Begins.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Because I think I think doing that episode is what got us interested in doing the breakdowns to begin with, because we were like, wow, we have wildly different top threes, and the way we each felt, because I think that was the episode where I found out how much you liked Batman Forever, and I was like, that's a discussion. That's a whole conversation. And it was, we talked about Batman Forever a lot, actually. I actually found myself, I remember, because when I rewatched it for the breakdown, I was like, this is better than I remember.
Yeah, the Kilmer stuff is.
The Kilmer stuff's great. When
The
Kilmer
villain stuff is still shit.
woof. Yeah, when it's a movie about Batman, it's good stuff. Anything outside of that, I'll hard pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, because I think my favorite one we did was Batman Begins, I will say, because let's be honest, like like the Dark Knight doesn't happen without Batman Begins, and Batman Begins is, I think, the only reason it doesn't get remembered more is because the Dark Knight came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's also like that was the like you're saying, like that was the one that was having them bring it back, and then Dark Knight like cements it.
Yeah.
So,
and the Dark Knight Returns, neither here nor there, but it had a lot to live up to. And this is, again, these are things we've all talked about. Yeah, I don't think my list has changed, because again, I having rewatched all of these for doing all these breakdowns, I still contest that the Batman is my favorite Batman movie. It did everything I needed it to do, and it's a movie that I can still watch time and time again and find something different to appreciate about it, or to reappreciate about it. It's just but there's just something about the aesthetic of Keaton's 89 Batman that Tim Burton just nailed with that movie. We all know it's my favorite Batmobile. It's still to this day just mwah, so good. So good, except the armor. The armor's a little weird. I still think the armor's a little weird.
Shields.
Yeah, it's just a little, that the shields thing is just is the only part where I'm like,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So with that in mind, we actually realized, I think we talked about it mildly, but then someone made a comment about, hey, are you guys ever going to discuss the live action film actors? And we were like, oh, we've never thought to do that before.
It was one of those, like, what do you mean we did that an episode? What?
Yeah.
Wait, we did that, right? We did that. We did that, right? And then I think I called you on the phone and I just said, we're the dumbest sons of bitches on the internet.
Yeah. How are we 60 episodes in and we've never discussed this portion? And I was like, yeah. And then we're like, well, let's save it for our 100th. So we've been sitting on this for about 3 or 4 months.
Yes, we have. And it's a pretty easy list. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. We'll go through the actors.
We'll go through all the actors
discuss
first.
them, and then I think at the end, pick our top 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if mine's going to be a surprise. I doubt it, but it might be, depending on how much you've been paying attention to what we've done over the years. I don't know.
It's true. Well, let's get in. Well, before we get into the movies, I guess I'm sure people might want to say, like, what about TV? Look, there's not enough TV to really talk about when you really get down to it. It's Adam West, and then the kid from Gotham, who the less said about that, the better. Whoever played him on Ian Glenn that played him on Titans, the less said about that, the better. And we've never really talked about the old black and white serials. I'm not going back that far, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
They are what they are, and it's kind of weird to look, because we watched it. It's on Tubi. So me and my kids watched.
It really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Me and my kids watched an episode, and not since Holiday Inn have my kids been that uncomfortable with how racist the casting is.
Oof.
Because you have like the whole I'm just going to say there's a Japanese character who's not
Yeah,
portrayed by a
yeah.
Japanese man, and I'm not
And
going to discuss it any further.
and they say some words about his appearance that do not age well in the slightest.
But the funniest part is they do like these fight scenes, but it's like this is pre 1940.
Yeah.
Martial arts doesn't come here till like the 60s.
Yeah.
So like it's just them poorly boxing and kind of wrestling.
It is
but
what
that was
it
what
is.
Batman did in the comics, you know. So he's definitely the Batman of that time, but that Batman of the time is very boring to watch.
Yeah, and then the only other one is that we did have one episode of the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths where Kevin Conroy plays a broken and beaten and twisted take on Bruce Wayne. I've seen this. I've not seen the full crossover. I have seen his scenes on YouTube. They're very good, but that's because it's Kevin Conroy.
Correct.
If Warner Brothers and DC had been smart, they would have already done a live action Batman Beyond movie with him playing old man Bruce Wayne, because you could have just done it. Yeah. Honestly, I think I pitched that when I did our Batman Beyond pitch.
Yes, you did. Yeah, yeah, you did.
That sounds like something I would do.
And my horrendous casting of Batman, who after watching Aquaman 2 was like, nope, I was wrong.
Never.
I was wrong. That was a bad idea.
Ooh, was he? I don't think we talked. I don't think we talked about him at all in the review. Dolph Lundgren was straight ass in Aquaman 2. Holy crap, was he bad? Yeah. Anyway, so we've got the list of live action actors here. I'm going to be looking off camera. Sorry, guys, I know it's not professional, but it is what it is.
I got my setup working. If you want me to do it instead,
do you want to just put it up on screen?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's put it up. You know what? I'll do that. I'll put it up on screen there.
Neither one of us have the following that requires us to be on screen.
That's 1,000% fair. You are not wrong in the slightest. All right, let me get this.
As much as I would like to believe,
yeah,
there are people out there just dying to see.
I know. All right, so yeah, we've got the list here. Let me. Yep. So we got George Clooney, Adam West, Robert Pattinson, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and all the movies they were listed in.
Damn it!
What?
Who's Batman?
What?
Batman 66.
I don't know. You wrote this.
I know.
Batman. No, that's the British version of the movie, because it's Batman. It's Batman.
Son of a bitch.
We're so glad you could be here to help us, Batman. It's Batman if he was a lawyer.
Yeah.
So Robert J. Batman, Robert J. Batman, Esquire.
Yeah. God, talk it. Of course, that's awesome. Whatever.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Way to go.
Do you at least have the one that was in chronological order? Can we do that list?
This is the one I have.
I put the chronological right after.
This is the one I have. No, this is what we're leaving up.
Yeah,
we're leaving this up.
I can't. Sure.
For
anybody who
we're live. Fuck it, we're live.
Yeah. Whoever didn't know that George Clooney cameoed in The Flash, well, you know now.
Look, at this point, you know.
Yes.
At this point, it's been long enough. That movie is eligible for trivia competitions. It's been long enough. It's on Max. Okay. Yes.
And it sucks. So whatever.
It's fine. It's not fine. It's mediocre at best. So let's talk. So we'll start with Adam West. You know, and what can you say about Adam West that hasn't been said a million times? He is, you know, of the era. He is what they needed him to be. Your buddy has pointed out you also spelled it Batman Forver.
Perfect. I don't like the letter E. That's the lesson we're taking.
Well, what do you mean the letter E? The letter A is what you left out of Batman.
I mean, either way, I don't like English.
You don't like vowels.
I don't like vowels.
You don't like vowels. You know, Adam West. Adam West was of his time, and I'm glad that as the years went on, he was able to kind of let go of his ego and develop a sense of humor about it, so that we got those last 2 animated movies with him as Batman,
Yeah.
which are fantastic, and everyone should watch them if they get the opportunity. But yeah, look, man, Adam West, like, we still talk about him for a reason. He was doing something right.
Dude, he's a good-looking dude. He was great as Bruce Wayne.
He's
The
so good as Bruce Wayne.
the like you're saying, the Batman of that time was like that. And honestly, like, it was a kid show, and when I was a kid watching that show, it was the coolest thing ever. So he understood the assignment and he nailed it.
Yeah, like, it was what they needed it to be. And every time I go to the collectible store in town and I see the Lego Batman cowl of his, it
Yeah.
takes everything in me not to buy it. But it's $100. I'm not spending that on Legos.
Some people do. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Did you spend $100 on Legos, Matthew?
Yeah, for Father's Day for myself. Bought myself a spaceship.
Which spaceship?
It was the big old, like, retro looking one. The thing's like this big, dude.
Oh no. Oh, you got one of those? Okay.
Yeah.
I love Legos. I don't have the time. If I had the time, I'd spend the money, but I don't have the time.
Oh, it's definitely one of those today's Father's Day. All you kids go do something besides touch my toys.
Yeah, no.
I'm here for 2 hours putting this together.
Go away. When I was a kid, man, I used to all the time at, like, my birthday, I'd ask for, like, a CD and, like, some clothes and a book and a new Lego kit. And then as soon as we were done opening presents and eating cake and all that, I'd go in the dining room, put my new CD in the CD player, and I would spend the rest of the night building my new Lego set.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had the weird underwater ship from the Phantom Menace. I had Jeff Gordon's DuPont NASCAR racer. Had some Harry Potter play sets, some other stuff, big old robots, that kind of thing. Good stuff. Love Legos.
Yes.
Wish I had the time. So then from Adam West, we go to Michael Keaton. Look, we've talked about Michael Keaton at length on this show. He comes up all the time. Like, again, it was a pick nobody could have predicted, and to have left such a lasting mark, that, like, him being a part of the Flash is one of the saving graces of that movie. You know, I mean, people were suddenly ready for him to come back and just be Batman again, until all the hiccups at Warner Brothers started. Like, it's crazy to think about, you know.
He's fine.
I've never understood. I'm putting the list down for a sec. I've never understood your dislike of Michael Keaton.
I don't dislike him. I just don't buy for a second he could be Batman. I just never have. I don't know if it's the whole he was Mr. Mom and that kind of stuff. Just something about it. I just don't buy him as Batman.
But I mean, I could make the argument that's what makes him such a good Batman, is because he's not what you would expect. He's not suspicious. Like he's so separate from who Batman, what you would expect Batman to be.
I'm just talking about stature of the man and such. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things in my mind. I just can't. I've never been able to get behind him as Batman. I'm not knocking his performance.
That's why he has the suit.
Yeah, but then everybody can be Batman. Anyway,
that's the point.
It's not the point. No, I having rewatched him, I appreciate more his performance as Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
And he has a good
Bruce Wayne.
He's got a good Bruce Wayne. It's a little weird, but at the same time, it's fine. But no, I just it just never has grabbed me. I don't know why. I can't, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like he sucks as Batman. It's just I can't. I don't know why. It's just never grabbed me. So
why do you hate things, Matthew?
Because I love making you go into the mic that close and chastising me for it.
That's one of my favorite things to do. I think what makes Michael Keaton so unique is that, like, for the longest time, he was one of the few that really differentiated the different facades of Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's Batman, there's Playboy Bruce Wayne, and there's by himself Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
because even with Kilmer, as much as I do enjoy Kilmer's performance for the most part, the stuff with him and Nicole Kidman just drives me nuts. It's so bad. It's still pretty much like he doesn't really have a Playboy Bruce Wayne. It's just Bruce Wayne and Batman. Clooney is just George Clooney. Christian Bale was kind of the next one to really get into that idea of separating the three facades. But Keaton, I think, and Adam West was always just Adam West.
Yeah.
So Keaton was the first one to really do it, and he did it noticeably well, I think. So that's what makes him stand. That's why, like, you know, when Clooney shows up in the Flash, people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, when Keaton shows up in the Flash, people get excited.
Yeah.
So
no, I think like I can't knock his performance. I've just never been able to buy him in the role. You know, it's just one of those things.
Hater.
I know, pretty much. But yeah, it's just I don't. I got nothing. It's just one of those things. Like I liked like when it first came out. Of course, it's a Batman movie. I watch it all the time because it's Batman. But you know, we've talked about it before. Once Forever comes out, I never go back to the Keaton ones, and then once the Nolan ones come out, I never go back to the other ones.
Have you read any of the '89 comics yet?
I have not. No.
Give them a shot, man. They're good stuff. They're really good.
I'll give it one of these days.
Look, remember, we're on camera, so people can see the faces you're making. This is what I got to put up with constantly, folks. This is what I have to put up with. This is why we don't do video. That and like seriously, like just because, like, just to make it clear, again, like, don't get used to this. This is a special occasion kind of thing. Like, Matt and I do not. Our recording schedule is so scatterbrained.
Yeah,
we're sometimes we're lucky to get an episode out because between comedy and my day job and the other podcast I work on and your day job and your family and the other projects you work on and a 1 hour time difference.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for us to schedule just a recording sometimes.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, hey, I'm in my pajamas and Matt is disheveled from running around like a chicken all day. We don't look our best. We're just trying to make sure it sounds good.
Or
everything,
or we've got to pause it because I get a work call.
or we have to pause a billion times. There have been some episodes. There was one time we gave up. Do you remember that?
Yes.
There was one day we had so many problems go down between phone calls and hiccups with equipment and everything. I finally just said, you know what, Matt, let's just mulligan this and try again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're done. We're done here. There's no reason to even go forward. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not having a good time. Well, from Keaton, then we go into Val Kilmer, who's your boy. You look, we all love Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Like, just in general, we love Val Kilmer. We miss Val Kilmer. I'm so glad he got to have a limited role in the new Top Gun, which I still haven't seen. Just haven't gotten around to it. Not a big Top Gun guy.
I can't say it's fantastic.
I'm not a big Top Gun guy, but it's just good that they found a way to get him incorporated.
Yeah.
So that he could still get to act a little bit again. Because Val Kilmer's a very good actor, and it's just a bummer the hand he was dealt, unfortunately, in his life.
Yeah.
Which is such a small potatoes way of describing what he's going through. Just, he was dealt a bad hand. It's like, no, he's kind of going through it.
Yeah. But, we don't have to get into it. If you really want to know about what Val Kilmer's going through, there is a documentary. I think it's on Amazon Prime or Hulu that you can get in there, and it's a really good documentary, and it's a bit tragic what he's going through, but we're here to talk about Batman, and he's one of my favorites. Like, I really dig him as Batman, and I think I've said it before, I'll say it again. The big thing for me is I think he plays it the way it's written in the comic, which is Batman's always Batman, and he dresses up as Bruce Wayne, and sometimes he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne, so he give a crap about what you're telling him. So when you as the Riddler are telling him this thing, he ain't paying attention to you. He doesn't care about what you're saying. And then he's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, it's a horrible idea. Go kill yourself. Bye. And he just leaves to go be Batman.
I'm good. Go. Have fun. Peace, dude.
Yeah. Nope, it's a bad idea. Sorry. Too many questions. Bye. Meow.
Yeah, I'm out.
So yeah. But I think I mean, I see what you mean. The last time when we watched it for this one and you had put it in my head how weird the scenes between him and Nicole Kidman are, it's a little like I know knowing more about what I know about Joel Schumacher now, it's like
Yeah.
he was like, all right, I need you guys to be absolutely horny for each other and don't even try and hide it. And it makes for some weird moments.
Oh my god, it's so horny. It's like it was made for UPN, dude. Oh my god. It's so gross, man.
I wouldn't say gross.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
gross,
uncalled
dude.
for in a comic book movie.
Dude, it is like it's like it was written for, it's like they were reading the script from the porn parody of their own movie.
All right, I'm gonna tell a horrible story. My wife, if she watches, is gonna be really mad at me if I tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it.
Okay, well, I just made a porn joke, so go nuts.
So here it is. So I remember watching this movie and that scene where he shows up and is doing but he as Batman goes to her apartment and she's laying down and
Yeah.
like she's off, like you're just like no girl sleeps in
Like
that
that.
position with the sheets like that.
Yeah. That's not how people sleep.
But one of the weekends when we spent a weekend away together, I
Uh-huh.
went to the bathroom and I walked back into the bedroom and I'm like, oh, no, I guess women do that. Because there she is, laid in the bed, the sheet perfectly tucked around her in that exact position. And I'm like, well, I
Oh,
was
come
already
on. You know she did that on purpose.
He's going to the bathroom at 3 a.m. Let me get into position and tuck the sheets around me.
I'll show him.
It was so funny. Like I was already 2 billion% into marrying her anyway, but I was like, yeah, for sure marrying this one. And every time we talk about that movie, I keep forgetting to tell you that story. I have to tell you that story because it made me laugh on the day. Like, okay, cool. Like, I guess I am wrong. There are women out here that do that when they sleep. Whatever.
It's so stupid in the movie, dude. It's so dumb.
I really wanted to say, are you trying to get under my cape, Ryan?
Oh my god.
It
Oh
is.
my god. How are you married? How are you married with multiple children?
We'll talk about it off air.
Well, then from Val Kilmer, we get to I mean truly, and it's not entirely his fault, but truly the lowest one in the bunch, George Clooney. It's not a good performance. It's not a good script. It's not good direction. It's not a good suit. There's nothing good about George Clooney in Batman and Robin. There's nothing good about Batman and Robin at all. And part of it is George Clooney's performance, but it's not all George Clooney's performance.
Yes.
Because it's very clear he just does not give a shit.
I think he's not mature enough to do what he could have possibly done, given what you see him do later after this movie. But
Yeah.
two, I think the other thing is that, like, at this point, it's a toy commercial. Joel Schumacher is just getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
He's been told the things he has to do. He's just doing the thing. I don't think even if George Clooney wanted to do something real with this, Joel Schumacher was just not, because I don't know if you ever watch Inside the Actor Studio, but George Clooney talks about like every time he was like, all right, we're rolling, you have nothing to live for, and action. And it would just be like, what? Like your parents are dead, you have nothing to live for, action. And he would just be like,
God,
okay.
That sounds like how Michael Bay directs.
Yeah. So I think that on top of him being horribly miscast at that time in his career.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this: somebody knowing now what if they had known then what they know now, I think they should have let George Clooney get a redemption as Batman and let him be in the Flash.
There was a lot of things. There was a lot of things they could have done with that, and I appreciated what they were going for with the cameo at the end. I really did. Like, I genuinely appreciated what that was for.
Yeah.
In a world of the multiverse where that movie was a good movie and the DCEU didn't crumble the way it did, who knows what we could have seen.
Yeah.
Because I do think George Clooney is a good enough actor that he could pull off a decent Batman Bruce Wayne. I recently watched The Perfect Storm for the first time in like 15, 20 years or however long it's been since I last saw that movie.
Yeah.
And the movie's fine, but he is so good in The Perfect Storm.
Oh, just watch the first Ocean's 11.
Oh,
swagger Bruce Wayning all over that damn movie.
Danny Ocean's the coolest guy in every room he walks into.
And Brad Pitt is Green Arrow right next to him.
Yeah, I don't care if they're walking into a room that's got Prince, rest in peace, and Bono, and Elton John, and Rob Halford, and Jeff
Ferris
Goldblum.
Bueller. No.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller and Jeff Goldblum. George Clooney's Danny Ocean and Brad Pitt's character, whose name I always forget, are the coolest guys in that room.
I think it's
mostly Danny Ocean, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. That first Ocean's 11 movie is so good, and a lot of it is George Clooney. So, and I also kind of liked the aesthetic they were going for with his Bruce Wayne. I do think this is a weird thing to say. It's to get a little off topic. I do think there is a version of George Clooney's Batman in the multiverse where Ezra Miller's Flash makes sense. When you look at how they're written and how they're portrayed, there's a version in which Ezra Miller's Flash works with with George Clooney's Batman.
See, guys, that's the kind of crap Mike has to deal with behind the scenes when he's watching me.
Is just him just giving me all kinds of shade through the camera. Let me have my hot takes. I let you get away with Dolph Lundgren as old man Bruce Wayne. Psychopath.
I've already reneged on that. Let's not bring
it
up anymore.
You should. I don't know what I have talked at length here. I don't know what you'd like to say.
I want to say hi to Unica, who came by the live. I don't know if she's still here. Hi, Unica.
Hey, Unica.
And yes, John, do not watch The Flash. It's stupid as crap.
It's wild.
I can't even imagine what he's talking about now.
I don't know either. All right. Well, then from Clooney, we get quite the surprise in Christian Bale.
We get Jesus Christ and Master of the Gun Kata, Christian Bale.
I do not like Equilibrium.
I know. You said that last time I brought up that joke.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I want to love that movie. I love the concept. It's a movie that I love. I love on paper.
Yeah. There's
just too many times in the movie that they contradict their own rules where I'm like, I can't take it seriously.
Yes.
There's something they break their own rules too many times, and there's something missing from that movie.
How many times have you watched it?
Several.
Okay.
Many times. Because it's a movie, again, it's a movie I want to love.
Yeah.
So I've watched it many times trying to see if I can. It's like American Psycho, and it's weird that they both have Christian Bale in them. These are two Christian Bale movies that are beloved, that I have watched more times than I can count, and I just cannot figure out why I don't like them.
Yeah. Equilibrium to me, and this is maybe going a little more with what the commentary talks about, is it breaks its own rules, but if you know what's happening, it's not. But at the same time, I don't know that I've actually sat down and tried to figure out when it's breaking them. Like Tay Diggs smiling breaks the rule, but when you find out he's part of the thing, it makes total sense he's smiling. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. Like, there's a reason they didn't release it in the States, like
Yeah.
all over the place. They did limited because I saw it in the theater here, but they didn't do it a nationwide.
It's one of those movies that I remember being in college, and it was one of those movies that fall under that category of like college pretentious, where it's like where like every college kid saw this movie and suddenly thought they were like the next great film
Yeah.
critique philosopher or whatever. It was that, Donnie Darko, and like Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yeah.
Only one of those I actually still like to this day. For more, if you want to hear me rag about more pretentious movies, follow me online, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we get into Christian Bale, man, and what a tour de force of a performance this guy delivers across 3 movies. You know, you said it yourself that Batman Begins is your favorite Batman movie, and like I said earlier, like Christian Bale did what only Michael Keaton had done up to this point, which is really hitting the 3 facades of Bruce Wayne and Batman, which is Batman the Masked Vigilante, Bruce Wayne the Playboy, and Bruce Wayne the damaged, borderline psychopathic, just unhinged individual who's just trying to make sense of his world.
Well, and I think Christian Bale also has the advantage, like he gets to be Batman in 3 different movies, full on Batman, and some of those Batman in different stages of their career. He gets to be Batman at the beginning, Batman experienced, Batman coming back. So there's a lot he gets to work with. You know, we don't need to go too far into the thing, but I think like when you get into the I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Like when you're talking about actual acting talent, I don't think anybody on this list gets anywhere near where Christian Bale is as far as an actor is concerned. Like just being an actor, he blows everybody out of the water. He's one of the best actors, I think, of our generation. Like he's amazing. So I think, he's going to be good. And like up to that point, physically, he's one of the only guys like. Kilmer, I think, had the stature, and I believed he was Batman. But like, there's no doubt in my mind Christian Bale could have pulled it off.
Yeah. Like Kilmer, I could believe got ripped for the suit, but was using a stunt man. If you had told me Christian Bale did all his own shit, I'd believe you.
Yeah. And they talk about it. Like if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, there's some of those fight coordinators, they talk about how like quickly he could learn things and how crazy he was with the fighting.
Yeah.
And, but I think, yeah, as far as raw talent, he's amazing. There's moments, especially in Batman Begins, where you're just like, this is a master class actor that let you put him in a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Well, go
ahead.
No, there's no reason he should have agreed. He didn't need to agree, but it allotted him a lot of opportunities he wouldn't have gotten if he hadn't done it. But I mean, there's no reason you get this super amazing actor to go, Batman sounds fun. Sure. Why not? Like,
well, yeah, you also got to remember too, like when you look at everybody who's in like this is Christopher Nolan in like the early stages of being like Nolan, like he's obviously done Memento at this point. But he's coming in here with just an absolutely, he's like, Christian Bale, hey, do you want to be Batman? I don't know. Who else said yes to this? Michael Caine, Cillian Murphy, and oh god, who played Falcone?
Liam
Neeson, but who played Falcone? Tom, he just passed away last year.
Richardson's?
Was it
Wilkinson? There you go.
Tom Wilkinson. And Katie Holmes and then
I don't know if she would have been a draw.
Well, but at the time she was still a big name, and
she
and you're Christian Bale, and you hear that, and you're kind of like, I'm sorry, who else signed on to do this?
You got Watanabe, you got
Ken Watanabe, you got
Sirius Black.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's gonna be Gordon. At that point, you're like, well, Jesus Christ, I need to sign on to this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, Memento, and these are the early beginnings of Nolan setting the playing field for the people that are gonna help him carry him all the way to another plethora of Oscars for Oppenheimer. Won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. So a lot of that goes in, but a lot of that comes from Bale's performance as Batman. I mean, really and truly. We get in for 3 movies, and then we go into the most divisive era of Batman, which is Ben Affleck.
No. Yes.
Watch your tone, sir. In Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, The Flash. Supposed to be an Aquaman, but
Justice League
never
that
happened.
actually put vowels in Justice League this time.
You did, yeah. You did forget to put the on The Flash, but it is what it is. I feel like we're missing a cameo, but I could be wrong.
I looked on IMDb.
Okay.
So I don't think we are, because it feels like he was in more. Like I kept going, like,
yeah.
I don't think he was in the first Wonder Woman. I think there's a message that goes back and forth. I don't think he's
not actually in it. No, he sends her the pictures or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I swear there's another one in there, but I must be wrong. I'm remembering something incorrectly. But yeah,
he appears as Bruce Wayne and 2 different versions of Batman in Suicide Squad. I think that may be what you're doing.
Maybe
because he's in the meeting with Waller at the end as Bruce Wayne.
I think that's what I'm thinking of, is the meeting at the end with Waller.
And then he's Batman fighting Harley Quinn, and then he's Batman fighting Deadshot.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking. I think it's the scene with Waller that's throwing me. And we've again talked at length about what can we say that hasn't already been said about Ben Affleck as Batman. It's just like, especially coming out of The Flash, it's just like, man, we were robbed of a Ben Affleck Batman movie.
Yes.
Like just man, this guy was dialed in and was just like, it's just like, yeah, hey, we've got what could potentially be the next truly great Batman whenever you guys are ready for him. And they just never were.
And I like, as much as I don't like the portrayal of Batman and Batman versus Superman or Justice League, he's doing it 110%.
Mm-hmm.
Had I been into what they were doing, I'd have been like, this is amazing. Because even though, again, like, I don't want to get into pooping on the movie per se, but even though I'm not in what they're doing, he's selling it. He's doing what they've asked him to do as this version of Batman.
Yeah.
And it just pains me, because I'm like, man, I really wish they would have just let him do his own Batman movie. I can't even imagine what that Batman versus Deathstroke would have been like with freaking, Manganiello as Deathstroke. Like, we were freaking robbed horribly of that situation.
It's crazy to me that it's like, there was a point in my life where I lived in a world where we were on track to have a Ben Affleck written, directed, and starred in Batman movie versus Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. And like, to have that taken from us.
Yeah. You're like, come on.
It's hurtful, Matthew. It hurts my soul.
I mean, yeah, it's saying, because I remember when he put it on Instagram, the little clip of Manganiello walking in the armor.
Oh.
Like, holy crap, we're doing this.
It was so good. It was so good, man. It was so good, man.
And maybe if you get this out of Zack Snyder's hands, Batman will make sense. Sorry, I had to do one.
I hate you. And then we get to the most recent one, which is Robert Pattinson in 2022's The Batman.
Yes.
We've talked about this at length. it's about as good as it gets, guys.
Yeah, I feel like this is when I remember they announced Heath Ledger as the Joker, and I think I said the same thing about Pattinson as I did about him. There's nothing I've seen that make me think he can't do it. There's nothing I've seen him do that makes me think he can do it. Let's see what happens when it comes out. And then it comes out, and he just crushes the ever living crap out of it.
Well, it's what happens when you cast an actor who's only known in one market for one property, who aren't aware of all the work he's been doing in the UK indie film scene,
Yeah.
just putting in the work,
Yeah.
it's just, it's like we say when we talk about like Dave Bautista, who, again, I just saw him in Dune 2, and it's just like, again, this is a guy who just, he knows what he's here to do, and he puts in the work, and he gets a little bit more every time you see him, he's just a little bit better. And Pattinson is one of those guys. It's when you go back and watch those indie films he was doing back to back to back to back. Look, Tenet is a nobody understands Tenet. Nobody understands Tenet. That's not Robert Pattinson's fault. Okay.
But he's good in it.
He's very good in it. That movie there's not enough drugs in the world. There's not enough. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. I drank so many cups of coffee. I felt like I was going back in time, and that movie still didn't make any sense.
The movie gives me such a headache. It's just, yeah. But so I was one of the ones who, when they announced Robert Pattinson, I was more, now, because I was one of the ones when they announced Ben Affleck, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And then I ate some serious crow. With Pattinson, I was more, it was less of a really and more of a really. It was more of a head scratcher. I was just kind of like, huh.
No,
okay. All right.
I think the thing I thought about was, if you're bringing in him, you're not doing an action film. Because like, up until that point, like, Equilibrium, for the most part, as far as release, is the movie that came out right before he was cast as Batman, and for Bale. So he's amazing with the action in that movie.
Yeah,
like, there's no doubt in anybody's mind, if you watch that movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is his audition for Batman.
Yeah,
hands down. But I don't know that I'd seen him or Pattinson do a single bit of action. Because I'm not going to count the Twilight movies, because no. But
no, or should you?
Yeah, but I mean, my point more
Nor does he.
Yeah, but just like, okay, then that may be not where we're leaning with this, and I'm okay with that.
Well, because even Ben Affleck had talked about wanting his film to be more of a detective story anyway, and I think Warner Brothers and DC and Matt Reeves buy that product as well. I think they all knew, like, the people who are going to see this movie, the Batman fans, want a detective story. They want a mystery. They've been clamoring for it. It's on social media. When Ben Affleck was talking about that, the hype around the movie got huge, which is ultimately what led to the downfall of it, really, more than anything. But I think Matt Reeves knew going into it, like, oh, well, then we're going to give the people what they want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it when we did our top 3, is like, look at Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's like, you took a hero and you just didn't make it. Still has action, but you dropped them in a spy thriller. And they have not done that with Batman in any of the movies. Kind of like The Dark Knight was more of like a cop, like
it was kinda.
But my point more is, like, it's just a Batman doing Batman things.
Yeah.
In a Batman movie. Like, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but it's just Batman being Batman.
DC's never been very good at playing with the genre blending. Usually, like the DC movies, good or bad, have always, at the end of the day, just been a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Marvel was the first one to really start playing with the idea of using the superhero, getting away from superhero being a genre and superhero being a medium. Same way with what Guillermo del Toro has done with animation. So I'm hoping that with James Gunn over at DCU and with what we've seen with Matt Reeves doing that with his take on the Batman, is like, yeah, let's play with some genre pastiche. Let's do some genre pastiche play with our superhero movie.
Yep, I agree, and I think he does. He, to me, the fact that because he of anybody is Batman the most throughout his film.
Oh yeah, no, I think he spends probably 75% of the movie in the mask.
Yeah. And the fact that
Of
he
his
can,
75% of his screen time in the mask.
yeah. And the thing for me is like, he's able to give you a performance without talking. Somehow you can tell what he's thinking and what he's going through. And I remember like when I first saw the mask going like, this is our mask. But it's like you guys designed this so he could act through it, and it's amazing.
I also think kind of similar to what they did with Ezra Miller in The Flash. I think Robert Pattinson has the most like percentage screen time in his movie. You know what I mean? Like I think he's on screen more than any other Batman has been in their movie, just from a percentage standpoint. Because like Dark Knight spends a lot of time with the Joker and Harvey Dent, and
Batman Begins, he's like 90. He's almost at everything.
I would really actually be curious to run the numbers on that. I'm not gonna do it now, but I'd actually be curious to run the numbers on that.
I'm sure somebody has Vamp.
I'm sure somebody has actually, yeah. I will Vamp because again, it's just like I love this movie. And like, yeah, the news we talked about earlier, like with it getting delayed to 2026, like, yeah, it bums me out. It's like I gotta wait another year for part 2 of this movie. But again, I am someone who will wait for quality because I still have the first movie to just live in whenever. Like I said, I watch that movie constantly. I think right now I'm at like once a month just because there's other stuff I do want to watch. But like I saw it in theaters 5 times. Love it.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it. I did a lot of vamping. Any luck yet?
No, trying to tell me how much Bruce Wayne's worth. But ultimately, at the same time, Christian Bale is in nearly all of that movie.
He is on screen for quite a bit of that movie.
He's not Batman in all the movies.
I'm not even talking about just this Batman. I just mean like in screen time in general. I mean, like there's very few frames of the Batman that Robert Pattinson is not on screen.
He is in 47% of the movie. Is that what this is?
Robert Pattinson?
No, Christian Bale.
Oh.
I don't think that's right. Anyway, we'll have to do that another time because that's
we'll figure that out another time. We'll do that. We'll do that for the 200th episode.
There you go.
God bless it. Good Lord, I'd be amazed. But yeah, that's them. I'm curious how this is going to line up. But let's see if we can come up with our top 3 Batman actors. I'm curious how different these are going to be.
I mean,
I think I know
lines up with my movies.
Honestly. I think it's going to be kind of the same for me, to be honest with you. I think for me it's Keaton number 3, Bale number 2, Pattinson number 1. I really do.
I think mine's Kilmer's number 3. Wait, Kilmer's number 3?
Actually, no. I take that back. It's Bale number 3, or it's Bale number 3, Affleck number 2, Pattinson number 1. I'm sticking with that because look, I am on the record as being a bigger fan of the Snyderverse than most people, but also just I was a huge fan of what Ben Affleck was doing as Batman, and like I wanted so much of it, and it's easily some of my favorite stuff in the DCEU. So I'll put Affleck at number 3, Bale at number 2, since Bale had better movies, and then Pattinson saying at number 1.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna cheat and say Pattinson and Kilmer same, and then Bale number 1.
Oh no, bitch! No, my good bitch.
I can't. I honestly can't.
You have to.
Oh God!
Gun to your head.
I think I'm gonna have to give it to Kilmer, only because of time.
How much time you've had to live with it?
Yeah, because of the time I've had to live with it.
Okay.
I think in my personal opinion, there is still something different Kilmer's doing there that I really, really like. And it's dumb because I know the movie is not very good besides his stuff, but there's just something different he's doing. And I think part of that comes from we don't get Robert Pattinson being the facade of Bruce Wayne. We just have him being Bruce Wayne, not wearing the costume.
Right.
So I think in the next one, if you have him suddenly stop being, I don't want to not be in the Batman outfit, Bruce Wayne, and being Playboy Bruce Wayne, I can totally see going like, nope, he just knocked Kilmer right off this list or to the third spot. I think that's my thing. There's just something there that gets me about Kilmer's performance.
I have nothing to base this on, but I have a strong feeling that the Batman Part 2 is going to be Pattinson learning how to be Bruce Wayne, the public figure.
Yeah.
Since that comes up so much in the Batman that he's not good at it.
It doesn't bother with it.
He doesn't care about it. Considering that they're really going for character growth with this Batman, I wouldn't be shocked if that's a big part of Part 2.
Even though I do love that scene. He did that. He saved me. What do you think that means, huh, kid?
He took the Hippocratic Oath.
Hippocratic Oath. And then he just starts
Hippocratic Oath. That's funny. That's funny. You can see the look on Penguin's face of him going like, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. You sure you don't want me to shoot him? So yeah, I think Bale has the luxury of spending the most time, and even though Dark Knight Rises I don't particularly care for, is still better than a lot of those other movies.
It's still better than a lot of superhero movies.
And even though I don't like the way the story progresses, his performance in it is still amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is not him. The problem is never him. I feel like the worst Batman movies come down to script issues, honestly.
Big time. Big time. Big time.
It's just usually whenever the script has been handled by somebody who doesn't know anything about the property and or doesn't care.
Or you're trying to sell a bunch of toys, and that's what this movie's about.
Or you're trying to sell a bunch of toys, or you're just trying to get people really freaking horny. I don't know. God, seriously, like she just like, it's like how do you still have a medical license, lady? How are you still licensed to practice medicine in any state in the continental United States?
Never run into a Batman before.
Apparently, my God, lady.
She would be the Huntress of Gotham. I don't know if you know the Huntress in comic book canon, but she's like apparently one of those characters who slip with a lot of the heroes.
Apparently, yeah. It's one of those. I feel like they've never, and I know with comic books in general, we've struggled over the years with how to write our female characters. Huntress is one we've really struggled with.
That too.
Never. It's like what's a really if somebody really wants to get into Huntress, what should they read? The Wikipedia summary of her character. Honestly, man, they don't do her very well in the comics. In anything, really. The best thing has always been JLU. JLU did Huntress the best.
I don't know. I thought she was pretty fantastic at Brave and the Bold.
Shut up.
When her and Black Canary are fighting over Bruce Wayne. Oh my! Anyway, we're going off topic.
Anyway,
live action actors. We've got our top three.
We've got our top three. Yeah, mine's gonna be Bale or not Bale. It's gonna be Affleck, then Bale, then Pattinson.
Is anybody still with us? We have 4 people.
Yeah, we got 4 guys watching. Thank you guys for watching along. Hey, if you guys got any questions or anything you want us to get into, we got about like a little less than 30 minutes left here before we need to call it a night. So if you guys got anything you want us to talk about, any questions you want to send our way, throw them at us. If you got anything at all, while we're here live, please do. I do want to say thank you to everybody who is watching with us, who have been watching with us. And if you're watching this or listening to this on the replay, 100 episodes, guys, seriously, thank you for sticking with us. If you've been with us from the beginning or however long you've been with us, we really do appreciate it. This is just it's a show between 2 buddies. It's just 2 buddies that like podcasting and like comic books and like Batman and DC. And it's an excuse for 2 buddies to hang out and just do something fun that we enjoy doing. Thank you, Unica. You are so nice. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
That's my you're my little brother. She's my little sister.
Gotcha.
Don't let her watch your kids though. She'll steal them.
I, no kids, no kids, no sir. Don't put that. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, it's just it's cool we've gotten this far, and it's cool that we're gonna ride this wagon until the wheels fall off. Who knows when that'll be. Trust me, there are some weeks we struggle to come up with episodes, guys.
Yeah.
There are days, there are definitely times where it's a struggle, and we'll hit that wall at some point, and we'll figure out what to do from there. Hopefully enough stuff starts coming out with DC and all that, now that we're getting into the James the times of the Gunn. The age of Gunn is upon us.
The Gunverse.
The Gunverse is upon us, so maybe we'll have plenty more to talk about. But it has been a lot of fun doing this, and I'm glad that I get to do this with a good buddy of mine. So thank you guys for letting us keep doing this.
Well, and yeah, it's kind of funny because I remember how we started this. You had like tweeted something, I think, about you had been on the podcast I was doing, I think, twice up to that point.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and then I think you put out there, I really want to do a Batman podcast, but I don't know or is anybody interested? I don't remember how you said it.
I was just like, look, I just want to do a podcast where I can just talk about Batman.
Yeah, and I think I had already stopped doing Fanboy Junction, and I was like, hey, so what are you thinking?
Yeah, because I had originally started the podcast as a spin-off of my old show when I was doing movie shows, and it was meant to be a companion podcast leading up to the release of the Batman.
Okay.
But then COVID happened.
Oh man.
And so, production was shut down, everything ground to a halt. And so I was like, okay, well, this show's dead 2 episodes in. Everything stopped, everything screeched to a halt. So then once the movie came out, I was like, yo, this it's a testament to the movie, but like that movie awakened to something in me as a Batman fan where I was like, I just need to be able to talk about Batman as much as possible. And yeah, so when I put it out there, like I had a feeling Matt would be interested, but I just wanted to put it out there. I was like, I know once I put this out there, Hasso's going to take an interest in it. But
if he's down, and he was down, he was down. And it was one of those, like, if Hasso says he's down, then that's probably who it's going to end up being. I was like, there's not too many other people I would actually want to, spend this much time with. So you baited me. Is that what you're saying?
I did. It's one of those, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Well, I didn't know what was going on with you as far as Fanboy Junction at the time, and I knew that you had been wrapping it up or had wrapped it up, and I was like, I don't know if he's looking for something else to do right now. And also, it's like, as a single guy in his 30s, I am increasingly aware of the fact that, like, yeah, everyone around me is married with kids now. Yeah. So not everyone has the kind of free time that I do. So when I start going, hey, you guys want to do this project with me? They're like, hey man, I have to take my kids to practice.
Yeah. No, there was a couple episodes I think we recorded me sitting in the parking lot of my daughter's dance studio on my phone recording because we don't have anything this week. This is what I got.
I mean, there's been several times like full disclosure, guys, like there's a lot of times when we record an episode that are days where I am working from home. We are both on the clock. Because it's hard sometimes, you guys, but that's why I wanted to make sure that doing this show was about something that I genuinely gave a shit about and was willing to talk about ad nauseum any chance I get, and not get exhausted talking about it.
I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and it's I as much as I enjoyed doing Fanboy Junction, it definitely ran its course, unfortunately. And I think had it maybe taken off a little bit different, I would have enjoyed still doing it. But I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, there's been a couple times I'm like, should I do it again? But then I'm like,
I've debated, man. I had a heavy metal music podcast I was super into for the longest time, and it just got to be too busy. And you get to a point where you're spreading yourself too thin. It's like, man, I want to do this. I want to keep this project going, but I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? that's why I always say, like, if it gets to the point where it stops being fun and it starts to feel like work, then
Yeah.
it's run its course. And we haven't had that happen yet. So
Well, and I think the thing with Fanboy Junction that kind of cracked me up is like I think it did. It just kind of got to that point where I'm like, this is getting like this is now difficult.
yeah.
When it's difficult and like you said, it's not fun. Like yeah, or what was the phrase like I coined? Casturbating. Like
Yes.
if you're just doing it to do it and there's nothing happening and no one's listening and nobody's even the people you're getting on aren't having fun, like you're
Yeah.
just casturbating.
Yeah. Don't do it just to do it. It's okay to say, like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, like it's okay
Yeah.
for things to have an end. It's okay for things to end.
But this isn't ending. We're at
No.
least getting to 150. We have another year.
Yeah, we've got at least another year in us, depending on how things go. But I'll tell you what is ending is unfortunately this episode and this live stream. We've been going for almost 2 hours here, talking about Batman movies, talking about Batman actors, and talking about Batman. It's been thank you guys who have joined us live for our 100th episode on YouTube. Again, don't get used to this. We're gonna the show is gonna keep publishing on YouTube like it's been doing. By the way, if you aren't aware, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's just search for We Are the Batman podcast on YouTube. You can it's all it is just the podcast. That's all it is. It's just the audio of the podcast. Go into YouTube. You can watch this video here. Occasionally we'll post clips. If we have another special occasion come up, we might do another one of these. I'm not setting anything on a calendar though. But we appreciate you guys for being here. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will say that if you do, you can also, because this is now publishing as a podcast on YouTube, you can now listen to the podcast on the YouTube Music app. And also just on YouTube. So there's just 2 other ways you can listen to the show. So please, if you get the chance, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen, if the YouTube channel grows enough, we could be persuaded to do some stuff on here.
Or if you just start commenting, we loved seeing you guys live, you should do it more often. I'm not saying we're going to do it weekly or monthly. We may do it quarterly, because this is a move heaven and high water to make it happen kind of
well
thing.
because the question comes up inevitably, as it does, like, would you guys ever do like a Patreon or something? It's like, yeah, if the demand was there.
Yeah.
Right now I don't know if the demand is there. We would need to see a lot more engagement on social posts. By the way, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/WATB pod. It's not a great URL. It's what I could get. Follow us on there. We post about everything over there all the time. We're not active on Twitter anymore. We don't have an Instagram because again, we don't do. Well, you are. The show's not active on Twitter anymore. We don't have an Instagram because we don't do any video content. So there's not really a reason to be on Instagram, really. But we do post on Facebook. And yeah, like if you guys comment and stuff on these podcast episodes on YouTube, like we will respond to them, and we always love hearing from you guys. If you contact us through Facebook, we love to reach out to you there as well. We love doing Q&A episodes, so always send us your questions. We're always banking them away to talk about. Thank you so much, Unica, for congratulations on 100. Thank you so much, Unica. Yeah, we'd love to do stuff like that. But also the thing you have to remember is with a Patreon is like, what would we have to offer that was extra? Not a whole heck of a lot, because like it's not like it's like, oh, put up uncut and uncensored episodes. You know what I do to edit our episodes? I slap an intro on the beginning and an outro on the end, and I upload them.
And if there's anything that's ever cut from an episode, it's because Mike is like, Matthew, you cannot say that on the air. Yeah. And he's right.
or it's because we record these things when we're on the clock. It's because one of us has to stop for a work thing or something. So it's like, yeah, but like I don't do a ton of editing for these. So like putting up an uncut episode doesn't mean anything. And we don't have the time to make extra content. We barely have time to make the content we have right now. So if the demand was there, we could be persuaded. But if you guys want to help the demand get there, please, subscribe, like, share it with your friends, tell people who maybe are just looking for a different kind of Batman comic book DC podcast to listen to. We're just two guys that just like this shit and just like talking about it.
Correct, sir.
And we agree on almost nothing. So you're not going to hear the same opinions over and over again. We agree on very little.
It's about a 30%.
I think maybe 40.
Yeah, that's 40.
Maybe 40. It's closer to half than it is.
I think we would agree on more if you would watch the things I told you to watch.
I think we would agree on more if you just learned how to like things, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, thank you guys again for hanging with us for our live 100th episode. We will be back again next time. If you guys want to hang out with us online, you can find me on social media at Mr. Mike Shea.
You can find me on Twitter at Mr. J Ninja.
That will do it for this episode of We Are the Batman. We'll see you again next time. Same bat time, same bat podcast channel.
Bye-bye.